Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Road to Onyx. We're doing our first coaching session with Shield of Atua, who you all probably know because he's famous in Awkward's videos. He's getting coached, so now I need to get coached. On a more serious note, he's my big brother, and we probably played Halo 2 together more than any of the other ones, and he just shat on me the whole time, so... that's where I learned to play. We both had to work at this burger shop, and I would play in the morning, and then he'd go to work, and then he'd walk by me. I'd go to work, we'd high five, then he'd play in the afternoon, and I'd go to work, and then we'd both play at night. That was like,
back in the good old days.
That was back in like 2007 or 6. I don't really remember. But we love Halo. That's how we started all this Atua Clan stuff. Yeah, and we were both Diamond in Halo 5. We were both Onyx. I think I was an honorary Onyx. I just made it, but I still messed around in Diamond for the most part. So
if you got it, you got it.
Well,
the rank.
I've been a little hard stuck in Plat 4, so we're trying to figure that out a little bit. But.
Well, how's it going, everybody? I know you all for the most part, see me playing Overwatch, but like Spear mentioned, I am a Halo player at heart. You know, I grew up playing Halo in the early days, even back when Halo 1 came out, and so this is a game that I love, even when everybody was crapping on Halo Infinite when it came out. You know, I'm a staunch Halo defender, so I have a lot of experience in this game. Like Spear said, you know, I was Onyx several times in Halo 5. I think that's when that rank came out. And have been Onyx in this game in as much as I've played it. So, you know, Spear asked me to go over some of his gameplay to kind of help out with his Road to Onyx series and see, you know, what tips we can kind of gather when it comes to Halo gameplay, Halo fundamentals. And that's what we're hoping to do here today, and maybe you can get some value out of it, learn a thing or two. If you're a Halo player, if you're not a Halo player, but you're just watching because you're curious and you like learning, stick around and, you know, hope you get some good info out of this. So I'm going to share my screen because I wanted to go over before we get into one, reviewing your gameplay, and then second, doing a live game. I want to go over some things that I consider to be Halo fundamentals. Okay, so Halo fundamentals, all caps, you know, and I think it's been slightly different in every game. And also feel free to stop me, ask me questions, try to think of examples, or I want this to be a conversation, so let me know what you think. But
cool.
Anytime I'm thinking about, you know, how do I get better at something, the biggest part in any game is looking at what you've done, having a genuine perspective on yourself and your gameplay, and looking for mistakes. In Halo, there's so many, because it's a very fast-paced game, very dynamic. You know, there's many categories where you could say, well, oh, what kind of mistake did I make? And that's kind of what I want to focus on. In my opinion, there's two major types of mistakes. And I'm hoping that by reducing it to two types of mistakes, you can go back and look at the gameplay and see, or even while you're playing, say, oh, this is this type of mistake, or this is that type of mistake. You know, our old StarCraft days. So, for those of you who don't know, we're also StarCraft players.
We play all the games.
In StarCraft, there's these principles of macro and micro. And believe it or not, I truly believe that StarCraft has helped me in every shooter I've ever played. In the sense of getting a sense of what types of things belong in what categories. So, for example, in macro in StarCraft is like this. How do I manage my resources? Okay. In StarCraft, for those of you who don't know, it's an RTS game. That stands for real-time strategy, and what that means is you have to gather minerals, you have to gather gas, and if you can manage those things well, you can afford to buy units, which makes your army bigger, which makes you win.
In case you're all wondering why I'm chuckling, we used to play a lot of like Red Alert, Command and Conquer, those games too, and I have said many times that the only reason I know how to manage any kind of money at all is not from my parents. It's from games like StarCraft and Red Alert 2. In case you should also know, me and Shield grew up pretty broke and in a lot of fun neighborhoods. So, yeah, those games, like, we didn't learn that stuff from our parents. It was all those games. Oh, you want to buy a massive tank? You better save money.
You better save for it.
And if you save it, just because you harvested money doesn't mean it's going to stay in the bank. You better get some pylons so you can save a lot more money.
True. And there's in every game, there's principles and methods to improve your macro. But from a definition perspective of what is it, it's how do I manage my resources? And at the micro level, it's in StarCraft, it's how do I move the resources that I have? How do I use the resources that I have? So this would be an example would be like, I have an army, I can split them in different directions, I can make them move how I want them to move. Now, from a first-person shooter's perspective, it's not a perfect fit, but I actually think it's a better fit than most people think. And a lot of players, when they struggle in a game, whether it's Halo or Overwatch, Apex Legends, the areas of improvement that they see first is micro. They see their mechanics. So for Halo, for example, Christian, like what would be an example of micro? Something to focus on at the micro level in Halo.
Your shot.
Aim. Boom. That's one of the most important ones. Your aim, your shot.
Strafing.
Not
having toggle crouch. Locked in.
Crouching. There's even more advanced tech in Halo, like Gandhi jumping. There's,
the slides.
Super sliding. I don't even know if that's what it's called, like G sliding, whatever. There's in Halo 5, there was thrust, slide, jump,
ground pound.
Yeah, ground pound. Those are all mechanical issues. And so when you first start learning a game like Halo, you're like, oh man, my shot sucks, or I'm running in a straight line, I died, or I'm jumping too much, so it's easy to snipe me. Those are micro things, and a lot of players get stuck on trying to improve those, and it's a worthwhile effort. But this category, macro, is what I want to focus on. For those of you who don't know or who haven't been watching the series, you'll be able to see as you watch Spear play, his shot is actually pretty good. Your shot is pretty good. So on this level, we don't care that much about that. You're not going to improve that much more on your shot. Depending on the day, you got to warm up, whatever. But So now answer the question from your perspective. What would be a macro, an area of macro to kind of improve on?
To improve on, or just like more that I could list? Because I know that.
Yeah, just things you could list. What would be a macro aspect of the game?
I think all your like power ups are macro. So like OV active, whatever this new like relocator thing is, which I don't know how to use.
I don't either, but yeah, that's true. Power ups is a good one. Perfect.
I think I often like. I don't want to get into the weeds. We can keep listening, but Just
Yeah.
the objective game types are like all macro. Like you can't play. I don't think I
Interesting.
don't think you should play CTF like you play Slayer. I don't think you should. I don't think this extraction type is new to a lot of people. I don't think you should. I think even within extraction, you have to play it differently. I think oddball's the same way. Where like,
Okay.
yeah, there's an objective, and if you have it, then you have to play a certain way. If you don't have it, you have to play a certain way.
Right.
So
I'll fill you in. And this is how I theorize about it. So in the comments, feel free to let me know what you think. But if we view macro as resources, how do I manage my resources? Power-ups, 100%. And Halo makes it easy because they prefix everything with power. How do I manage my resource? Power-ups.
Oh, I guess your shield, like
power weapons.
Yeah, right.
Is a resource. Your health.
Yeah.
Is a resource. I don't think OBJ types is macro in the purest sense, and I'll get to this because from my perspective, macro and micro, if you don't make any macro mistakes and you don't make any micro mistakes, you will win the game. If these two things are in service
Right.
of the objective. The objective isn't part of macro. It's if I maintain my resources well, then I will achieve the objective.
Right.
By default. It will just happen. And that's where people start to think like, wow, the game is coming easy to me. And this is where I want to get to the last part of macro and the thing I want to focus on for today. Power-ups, power weapons, and the most important thing, power positions. Those three things, if you have control of all three of those things, it is very, very, very hard for you to lose.
Yeah.
It's almost impossible to lose if you have control of those three things.
Yeah.
And so when we go through your gameplay and we watch it back, and this is homework. As we're watching this game back, because I have a game that I wanted to watch in your last episode.
Yeah.
I want you to keep track, like a count. How many macro mistakes did I make? And how many micro mistakes did I make? And I want a number. Like at the end of it, I want a number. Is it 10? Is it 20?
Sure.
If we can get a number, then for everybody watching, whether you're bronze, silver, or gold, you can say, okay, well, at the very least, I can just focus on reducing that number.
Yeah. And
as you do that, you will win more and more games. And so power positions, I know we're like not watching anything exciting or watching a Word document, but I want to spend some time on power positions and then we'll get into the gameplay. Okay, I promise.
Can I ask one question though? And
yep.
maybe it's like a this is like a 10% of the time this is the right thing to do, and 90% it's not, because it sounds like you're probably making your points are probably applying it almost at all times, but depending on the game type, like, and also somebody's pointed out that I go for trades, like sacrificing your life is the right thing to do. So like you have to not manage your health or manage your position to like dive something. I think that's like a 10% time, like to dive on a flag or to throw a ball off a map or to go off the map with yourself. I think those are small, but you'd be sacrificing your macro to win the LBJ.
Now, the reason I'm putting these in the macro category is because we do truly have to view them as resources. Resources, like you were saying, is like money. I want to gather as many resources as possible. Get the overshield, get the sniper rifle, and hold these power positions so that I have the capital to trade it in when I need to. If you don't have them, you can't trade them. Like you can't do anything. You can't sacrifice a power position to grab a flag if you don't have the power position in the first place. You're operating from a position of weakness.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And so that's why I wanted to view power position. And it's a weird thing because space, viewing it as a resource is a hard thing because space is intangible. It's changing. It's dynamic. But viewing it as something you can hold on to and capitalize on it when the opportunity comes, I think that'll help a lot of your gameplay.
Cool.
Power positions, I'm not going to give a whole dissertation here, but there's 3 things that make a position a power position in my opinion. Height. Oops. Everybody's watching me not spell. Height, cover, visibility, and this is the last piece, and it's not as important, it's context. So if you viewed a map, what's that map with the translocator?
Top middle. Or the
CTF. One? Yep. So we have 2 flags here.
I know what you're talking about. I don't know the name of it.
So let's view every map let's view it as a CTF map. And let's look at a map like this. Every Halo map is like this. There are some positions of strength and then positions of weakness, right? Mm-hmm. So as you play, some positions have all 3. That's how you know it's a guaranteed a power position, right? Mm-hmm. I have height, I have cover, I can hide behind things while I'm on height, and I have visibility into my next key objective. So I can see the thing I want to target. Context means like I could have all 3 right here. But context means, well, the whole 7 other players on the map are over here. Mm-hmm. Holding a power position doesn't mean anything if the context of the game is everyone's at your base. Right? So this is an important piece, but it's not a defining characteristic of a power position. This is still technically a power position. Okay? So what I want you to do, and I'll explain this as we go over the gameplay, but I have some key objectives while we're doing the live coaching that I want you to work on.
Okay.
But the main thing is, when you're in between power positions, you play slow when you have control of power positions. And when you're in open space, you don't have height, you don't have cover, and you don't have visibility into any of the objectives. You need to be sprinting to get the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
Because this is not a good situation. If you have all 3, stay there. Play slow. Play your life. So let's go into the gameplay, because I think that's we're going to get more value by watching the game.
This is hilarious to me because I play a lot of paintball, and they talk about time, distance, and shielding, and those are like very important things for when I play paintball. So they say time, distance, and shielding are like very important, and that you should be sprinting between areas where you don't have cover. But it's fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's a fundamental thing, but we'll notice whether we do that or not. So keep a note tab on your screen or something, write it on a piece of paper, because as we go through this gameplay, again, we're tracking how many macro mistakes did you make and how many micro mistakes. Okay? That's what I want to focus on. I'm going to turn this down because you can't hear it anyways. But I'll tell you when I say something, because you're playing with me in this game, and I call out some things that are indicative of the way I think about the game. Mm-hmm. That kind of highlights what we're trying to talk about here. Okay, so we start off already. We chose to take a low route, which is fine because we have cover, we have visibility,
Not anymore.
Okay, so from a power position perspective, we had low ground, so that's already 0 for 3. We didn't have cover, which is 0, 0 for 2, 0 for 2, 0 for 1, 0 for 2. We had visibility into the objective. And I think, I watched the coaching episode you got from Squatch, I think his name was.
Yeah.
And he talks about this being objective hungry, objective focused too much to where we're giving up positioning. I think he was very right in saying you got to focus on positioning first and then the objective second. Off spawn, to the very right over here, there's a box that you can jump up to nest, right? Yeah. That gives you visibility to the objective. It gives you high ground and it gives you cover. So, in the future, that's a spot on this spawn you can jump up to immediately, especially on this game mode.
Is that your first usually when you start here, when you spawn here?
I don't normally go this way. But I think if you're choosing to play the objective, which you should, like everybody on the team is going to be doing different things. Sure. So if you're choosing to go this direction, do it with the best possible chance of success.
Okay.
So think about that. Was that a micro mistake or a macro mistake? You didn't screw up your movement.
Right.
I would say that's a macro.
And I moved not just into the open, I actually moved towards his grenade, and then he had a buddy waiting too, so.
Yeah. Okay. So we're playing for OV, and now here's an important point. This isn't a mistake, but this is indicative of my frame of mind. I said, you get the OV. I'm going ahead.
Okay.
That's, as a team, we're trying to take advantage of how many resources can we gather as a team.
Were you trying to push towards nest so you could see everything? And then
I was trying to push towards sandbags, right?
Yeah.
Because if I get sandbags, that's a resource for us. If you get OV, that's a resource for us. The odds that we win this next fight, we can't lose it, right?
Yeah.
And so you're thinking about, okay, well, he's getting a power up, I'm getting a power position. Like as a team, we're trying to think about how do we maximize our resources.
Right.
So you went through. Now here, you can see me going for nest right away.
Yeah.
Power position that has cover, height, visibility on the objective. You have a power up. So we're already in a good spot here. They're not even looking at you. Now, the way you're playing right now, is there any mistakes?
I have OV, so I'm not even in the point. I think I could take these shots. Oh, this is extraction, isn't it?
It is.
I think I could probably play more aggressive, and I don't know if I called out that guy pushing you nest, but
I don't think you did, but even then, it doesn't really matter. What I'm thinking about is you have the power up, which is great, but health is also a resource, and we want to keep our overshield resource as long as we can.
So still play cover.
You're still on low ground. You're not sprinting. So in terms of power positioning fundamentals, you don't have height. You do have visibility on the objective. You don't have cover. So we're 1 for 3 again.
But I'm invincible because I have overshield.
Right. Exactly. And that's this is okay. I want to hammer on this point. If I have a power position with no overshield, and I'm fighting somebody who is on low ground in the open, who has overshield, we are on equal terms.
I agree with that.
We are on equal footing. If I have a power position and you don't, even though you have overshield, we are on equal terms, and it comes down to skill. And so as you go up, this is a macro mistake. You didn't miss that many shots or anything.
Yeah.
But this is a macro mistake that somebody else will punish you for.
Yeah.
Because they're like, well, they had nest, they had pillars cover,
Yeah.
and they had the objective, so they don't have to rush, you know. So I would have wished you'd made a play there to push the guy out of pillars, or I called out a guy coming at me nest. That guy's super important.
Or just chase him out.
All right, and then we lost.
Ooh, did I get backsmacked?
You did.
Awesome.
And that's a visibility thing, like not having cover, not having eyes. When you're in the open, anywhere is your back. You know, your back is to everyone. Okay, so this is good. You have height, visibility on the objective, cover. This is good. I said I'm calling out watch your left because I know that that's the only place that you can get pushed from.
Ooh,
and then I said in the call out, I said I spawned here, you're good.
Spawned on nest or spawn middle?
I spawned tower, so I was like, there's no one that can push you now.
Oh, look at me.
If they did
13 plus 2 and I'm reloading. Sick.
Right. Well, which is fine. You know, that's fine. In this scenario, actually, is a good point because this is a decision you made to trade your resource towards the objective. You had high ground, and because you have this ability, you can choose to trade it. You traded it for the objective. And I think that was a good play. I really do. You traded high ground. We got them off in service of the objective. I don't think that was a bad play.
Okay.
Because we got the objective. You know, you kept them off. Running in circles a little bit, not really doing much. All right, you're putting the extraction up, which is good. Are we in a power position yet?
No, but I'm trying to get a resource, and I guess I have minimal cover. I don't know where that guy on the right came from, but
right. And this is a principle of playing for information. That's like a whole nother thing, a whole nother lesson. But at the very least, trying to at least get a little bit closer to the cover. Because you're already on low ground, you have visibility under the objective, just try to play cover as much as you can. Because that should have been your overshield, you know?
Right.
You didn't have to kill this guy, you didn't have to fight him. You could have just waited 2 seconds. So that's unlucky. So they get the objective for that. You hear me call out. Because I have sandbags, I have a power position, but everybody's dead. Right. So I said I have to wait. I have to wait.
Yep. Not powerful at all.
No, that was a useless fight.
There's nothing.
It didn't.
There.
There's no. I know you wanted to get angles because you know where the thing got planted. If you go through tunnels, you can get angles on it.
Right.
But I would try to get control first. You know, objective second. We have to have the resources to trade for the objective. I'm still sandbags. I'm still calling, and then I die. And now our timing's like off because I'm waiting sandbags and we don't have it.
And this is back when extraction was fun and you could see things, and I just dove off the top for God knows what.
You had a power position. It's like someone gave you $1 and you just gave it right back.
I didn't even look. I threw the grenade over. I didn't even look.
Not playing for information at all. You didn't keep the power position. So that, you know, and look at how much time. By the time you get here, the objective is like slightly over halfway.
And we had two other people coming in, spawning in.
Yep.
But I'm
dead. 2 other people coming in. You get a meaningless kill, to be honest. It doesn't matter. So by the time anyone else can get there, now it's like more than a quarter of the way. Basically a whole quarter of the time passed. Which just makes us getting that one impossible. And then you hear me say, we lost this one because we just can't get it. We don't have the... And that's how you can know when you're playing. Sometimes it's like, how do you know when to give up something?
Right.
If you look at the time on the clock, you have to factor in how much time is it going to take for me to get control and then get the objective.
Right.
It's not just running. Oh, can I get to the objective in a straight line?
Can you touch on it? Yeah.
It's
different than CTF, where you can, even if you do dive, you can like get a touch and it matters. This is
right.
Not the same.
Yep.
And he has a power.
So you're holding it here, which is good, but context.
Yeah. Yeah, it's too late. Why does it matter?
It was a power position.
Yeah.
But the context is that the site is now far away. So now it's not really a power position anymore, right? It has height, has visibility, cover, but the context isn't there.
Here they come.
You're walking through open space. Technically, this is height, but when you're going through top middle, you got to be sprinting to somewhere useful, right? I'm not even going to... And like, you see where I am?
Yeah.
The next objective is popping up. That positioning is probably the most important position on the map.
Yeah, top tower.
For that particular objective. It has height, cover, and visibility into the objective, and if you don't die there, you're set, you know?
Yeah.
I get a kill. I'm trying to stay alive. I die.
That's a fun grenade.
That's a micro mistake, probably.
Yeah.
If we're keeping track. Huge kill. So we got numbers, we got kills. I'm calling out I spawned nest side.
So they're not coming nest, they're either dummies or top middle. No cuts.
Exactly.
Or the back.
They're either dummies or top middle or the back. We have time. We just got the objective. We just killed them.
The back would be weird though, yeah.
You decide to stay here on the point.
It's not even king of the hill where that matters.
Right, you don't have to be here at all. Like, you got the kill, top middle, great. But they're plat. We're going higher, right? Yeah. I said, I call out, you just need to look your dummies. Because I have nest, I'm blocking it.
Mm-hmm.
And I call out, you can probably go up back tower and hold it.
Yeah, I'm out in the open here. This is not back tower.
This is low ground. You technically could have visibility on the objective, but you have no cover. If you die here, and you don't, but that's lucky. That's not a skill thing. You got lucky.
Back tower is like the best spot to see and poke.
Mm-hmm. So now, like, we have 2 dead.
I'm about to die.
Yeah, you're very weak. You gave up positioning. You gave up health. Like, you're trading in resources for nothing. You know, it's like throwing money on the ground. You could have been top tower, making it real, because you could still see them. Even if you were one shot top tower, you could still see them. And that's what it means to play for information. Like, even if you're one shot,
you could still see it, right?
Yeah, you could see nest. So, like, it's such an important position. I say they're going to have over here, and you say, no, they're not. But it's like, you're not in a position to contest it at all.
Yeah.
We got 2 kills, so that's huge. We equalized it. Me and you equalized it. And we did lead our team in slays this game. But again, you're in a position where you have no visibility.
Right.
You have a little bit of cover, but you're in such a weak spot right there. This guy, and because I'm top tower...
This is when you sneak up on him.
Yeah, but look where I am. Because you are sitting in the hill. You see me up there.
Yeah.
Like, right? Because it's so important.
I think you said something like, just keep him busy a little bit longer or something like that.
Yeah. I don't. Maybe. Oh, wait. But you can. I'm choosing. I have tower. I'm choosing to trade it in. For a resource. Like I traded in a resource to get the kill, and it was super important that we did that.
Yeah.
And by then they can't contest it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we know where the next objective is. Going top middle is tough. This is map specific, but unless you're sprinting through here and you get control of sandbags, it's a tough route. I wouldn't call this a mistake per se. Okay. That's good. You used cover, which is good. Really good. No mistakes there. We got 2 kills. I call out sandbags. And you gave up positioning again.
Yeah.
Low ground, at a disadvantage,
Chasing.
no cover because you're in the tunnel.
Don't chase, young blood. And I'm chasing him through tunnel, and I can't see where his team is.
You can't see them, and if you had to turn around and fight the objective, you wouldn't be able to see the objective quickly either.
Right.
You know.
I don't
so
really
this
know
gave up
where to be in this situation, like for this location specifically. The other ones, I had a spot. I'm thinking maybe both garage doors and behind some of the pillars, but that's all I could.
Well, let's go through the checklist. There's 3 ways into garage. Mm-hmm. The big door, top sandbags, and then the far right doors, right?
Yeah.
Which one of those 3 has height?
Sandbags.
Door. Only sandbags.
Yeah.
Which one has cover?
Sandbags doesn't really have much cover at all.
Sandbags doesn't have the most cover.
I don't know.
The right door probably has the most cover.
OV side door?
The far right. Yeah, OV side door probably has the most cover.
Yeah.
But it has the lowest visibility into the objective.
Right. There's more pillars on that side, but you can't really see.
You can't see where you planted it, right? You just planted it there. So there's some theory, there's some thoughts there in terms of where you planted it, right? Because visibility is important. So the far right side, I would say it's too far from the objective to make any kind of impact. It does have the most cover, but you're basically removing yourself from the fight. You might as well just hide,
Gotcha.
Pushing out sandbag is risky, but if you control it, any other entry will lose to you. If they come through big garage door, but I have sandbags control, you can't convert that site unless I'm dead.
Yeah.
And so it's like right here, almost die. I think this isn't helpful because you're blocking off an entry, but it's not the most important entry. I would say if we all stacked top sandbags so that we don't have cover, but we have numbers, that's a better proposition to holding that site.
Yeah.
And you didn't get the kill. Now later, this hill this point gets converted, and you are blaming our teammate, Kiker, whatever, Kai. We lost that point. I died. We both died at top sandbags fighting. I would say we lost this point because you went down here. And that one was more than halfway through, right?
Yeah, there it is.
He's on it. Right here.
Yeah,
you blame Kai. But it's he's coming off spawn,
he's also
there's no way
sprinting through the door.
It's not like he's hiding. There's nothing he can do. But because we got broken and you were down in the tunnels in a kind of useless fight,
Did you die on sandbags?
Yeah.
And
our teammate. But I think they full sent sandbags, which smart teams will do. Right. And again, you can see me up in sandbags again, holding it,
So you're just sitting behind some of those boxes, crouching and hiding and fighting.
The other thing that Sandbags provides us is visibility. It's information.
You can see who's
Even if I
coming
die,
from which direction. Yeah.
even if I die, I know which direction they're coming from, and I can make that call.
Yeah.
So you died here, which is whatever, but Kiker's whatever. He's transitioning it or converting it. This teammate, BLT Perfection, he's going down tunnels, making the same mistake you did. Not really useful. This is like a couple seconds of like just wasted time. We're playing for a power position or power up.
Yeah.
And you said, I gave you some time, which is true. I got the overshield. You didn't have to die for that.
Yeah.
You could have played cover in the same spot that I was trying to be and just shoot them and not die for it, you know?
Yeah. Now you gotta fight a guy with needlers.
That's just the worst.
Which actually...
I ended up getting the kill, but I'm pretty sure...
Your Ovi's gone. There's no way.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure my Ovi's all dead.
Which when I fight a guy with Ovi and I die for it, and I've wrecked their shield, I count that as a win most times.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say so. In most cases, but you try not to die as best as you can. Yeah. So this is a good spot. We kind of pinch here. Because I'm going Sandbags again. I'm calling out Sandbags. You get this kill, which is clutch. And then you play cover here on the left, which is important. This is a much better fight than going in the tunnels. Mm-hmm. Tunnels is you just have no visibility into anything. You have no idea. Our teammates are Sandbags. I'm holding Sandbags or visibility on it.
This is so much. Well, I guess you can see more than I thought you could see at that door. So you can see if they're spawning back tower or nest and running your way. Yeah,
that's true. That death didn't need to happen.
No.
But that one, it's okay because we just got the objective. It's like, it's okay. All right, low ground. We should be sprinting. We should be sprinting. We should be sprinting. This right here, the both of us messed up.
Oh yeah, I'm getting. Oh,
because me and you are both fighting in freaking stupid position. It was bad.
What do you do when you're in your low spots and you're trying to sprint, but they meet you at a position of power? Like, just run, like hide.
I think that takes practice. It's knowing your timings. Like I can get there before I challenge.
Right.
I think in future episodes we'll talk about exerting pressure and undermining pressure, because controlling power positions, power weapons, power-ups, those are macro aspects of the game that you're fighting over. You're fighting over those things.
Yeah.
When you have the advantage and you have a power position, you're fighting someone at a disadvantage. So you're exerting pressure. The team at the disadvantage has to try to undermine it. And that means going weird routes. That means sneaking up behind them, crouching like that. Yeah. Undermining pressure it's a whole nother skill.
Yeah.
This one
that's
was
why the
less.
Pros have all those like weird. When I watch them, I learn a new clamber every single time I watch. Where they I was like, oh, I didn't know you could climb up there, and you're in a bad spot, but they can clamber or do some weird jump to get right behind you in a power position, and
yeah,
it's pretty awesome.
So trying to undermine the pressure that's on you it's probably one of the hardest things to do in Halo, because good teams will get control and they will keep it, and they will bash your head against the wall. Dude. Until you lose.
They're just trying to revolt against them.
Yeah. Like you have to be patient, look for your opportunities, try to undermine it, stack an area. Like another way to undermine pressure is to get control. Like if you don't have map control, but snipers coming up, it's like we have to have this, otherwise we can't get out of this.
Yeah.
So you set up around it.
That makes sense.
So I made a mistake there. I was running in the open. I thought we could get there faster. Okay, you hear me call out. I say, go up top middle, but not yet. This is a timing thing. I just spawned next to you. I'm sprinting in the open. Like that guy behind you, that's so weird. I didn't know why that guy's there.
I don't even know how I got that, but okay.
Yeah, I was like, that's super big kill that you got. But I'm telling you, push up top middle, but you got to wait for me because I'm trying to get a power position as well.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
This is our attempt at, because they have control. They have the objective.
Right.
They're in front of the, they have the tower. Like we have to undermine it, and that takes coordination and timing.
Yeah.
I die because I probably went too early.
Well,
and now it's too late.
I wasn't even looking at that time, and
yeah, I think that's fine. That's whatever. And again, it is you have to slay, and our teammates were not slaying. Like that's just part of the deal. They were probably making micro mistakes where they're losing because they can't hit shit.
Just losing gunfights. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's an important part.
Yeah.
This is interesting to me. Like it worked out, but tunnel again, visibility is low. You could have got backsmacked here.
Yeah.
Because you have to choose a fork and you don't know which way.
Yeah.
I would have jumped up on the scoreboard and tried to go sandbags.
Okay.
Because then you have immediate visibility and an immediate power position with a power up. Like
safer.
It's safer, and you flip the tables on them quicker.
Yeah.
Guy with overshield in a power position, like that is terrifying.
With rockets?
Oh, like that's the trifecta. Like they're fucked.
Out of here.
But this,
yeah,
it's a choice. I don't know if I would call it a mistake because it worked out.
It's a choice.
It's like a gray. I wouldn't say. Like our teammates in the open, you're kind of standing in the open now.
Is that not a spot to fight out of that green, like on those corners? I don't know why I do it, but I feel like I get killed pretty often.
Where are green and corners?
Just that whatever that round structure is that I was just fighting at. No, behind. Go back. Just a little bit. I fight there on the corners, and I think a lot of people do when it's like King of the Hill or like right here.
Like right here?
All this stuff, yeah. There, and then on the other side, I'll fight the other side when I'm trying to hold. Like if I don't have nest, I'll sit on that left side and I'll look at sandbags. But
I think there's a gradient of positioning. Like there's very, very few perfect positions on the map. And I think map designers make them that way. Like they can give a position high ground and visibility to the objective, but it doesn't have cover. So they're making you make choices,
Yeah.
And so fighting from here is fine. Like it has cover. It's on the objective.
Depending on
if you don't have anybody here, though,
yeah,
you're easily fucked.
Yeah.
And so here's what I would have rather you did, because you just flipped it. We got the objective. You're fighting this guy. You're helping your teammate. He runs. You're shooting this guy from cover, which is fine. But here in this gap in between, 100%, you need to be sprinting your ass over there.
Yeah.
Because what if these guys went down,
come back
through the tunnels, and they came back up here?
Yep. It's a good spot
bad.
for them.
Yeah, it would be really bad. They have visibility, they have high ground, they have cover. Like, you have a power up, but like I said, you are an equal playing field.
Yeah.
And you're trusting that you're better than them. Which will not always be the case.
half of an overshield, so.
Yeah, and it's not even full overshield. It's okay. It works out because these kids are trash, but it's like, you four-shot this guy, you have good micro, so it's fine. You have good micro, so it's fine.
Yeah.
In the open. Again, no overshield now. So now you're on equal playing field with this guy.
And they're spawning back tower, I'm assuming.
The last guy did.
The way that they keep
Now that-
feeding, like running through that point, it just makes me think that they spawn there, but I don't know.
Well, look where we are. And we'll go over spawns in another episode.
Yeah.
Because remember how I said, you know, these two things are in service of the objective?
Yeah.
That's true for almost every FPS shooter. But there's a secret objective. There's two things you have to win a game. Control of the objective, control of their spawns. If you do these two things, you win.
Okay.
And you do those two things by mastering these things.
Gotcha.
So we're watching, you know, you're in the open, which is, you know, whatever. If you die here, it's a wasted death. I'll say that. You're walking in a straight line. This guy could have killed you. If you're a nest, that guy has no shot at killing you.
Yeah.
But
And I could peek the back too. Like BLT you can shoot the backside too and the front where the objective is.
so he's holding a power position, which is fine. Maybe you don't have to push that, but you can play a little bit further back with
Yeah.
cover. I'm holding tower, but what this tells you, and again, a more advanced thing, this is the last guy because you just got a couple kills.
Yeah.
Everyone else is spawning behind you.
Okay.
So once you kill this guy, the next thought in your mind should be, oh, I got to turn around. I said we have nest control, and now they're all spawning back there, and you can see them in the back. You use cover, which is good. You're using cover, which is good. Our teammates get kills.
I think maybe I only use cover when I'm one shot. I don't know.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah.
This is good. Like, you used it well. Like, I have nest now. I'm looking to my left. Now you'll hear me say, I have all the left.
Yeah, I remember
And
that.
then you say, right after that, you say, I'm watching nest. Why?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know where they're spawning. You know that I have everything on this side of the map.
Yeah.
And I would call out if I saw anybody. So you need to be looking sandbags here.
Okay.
You need to be looking sandbags right there and just hold it until I say something otherwise. And then I call out, they're coming out of garage, but it's already over. Long VOD review. I know it's taking our time. But so let's go over it. Let's go over the count. How many?
Okay. And I'm sure I probably miscounted. So
Yeah, what are you at?
I'm at like 13 right now. But I think
13?
I think I probably hit like 15, 16.
Are they all macro mistakes? Were you only counting macro mistakes?
I was only counting macro mistakes. Plus,
Okay.
no, that's not true. I counted one micro mistake when I threw that grenade, and I'm pretty sure it almost killed. My teammate ended up dying, and I'm pretty sure it's my fault. So I threw that grenade.
So, and you definitely, I'm not harping on micro mistakes. Like, honestly, you've been playing Halo long enough. You're good enough to where I don't need to focus on that.
Yeah.
But 15 macro mistakes in a game that we won in a blowout, pretty
Wild.
much. Like, in a blowout. If they were good, the amount of macro mistakes could be higher, or you could have made 15 macro mistakes and we would have lost in a blowout.
Mm-hmm.
Those are things that, when I talk about Halo fundamentals, here's the secret about power positions. Power-ups come on a timer. Power weapons come on a timer. You have access to power positions at all times in a game.
Yeah. Yeah.
And in a game where we start with equal guns, the same amount of grenades, equal health, if there are no power-ups in the game, the only way any team would ever win in Halo is by controlling power positions. And so it is like the single most important thing.
It's a really good point.
To getting a win is, did I control this shit? And that's why, we've played a few games here and there are times where you're like, I'm going to get camo, but you're making a trade. We had control, and then you're giving up a super valuable power position that has context on the objective to go get the power up that's far away. And as a result, maybe our setup crumbles. And so I want you to think of I don't need to get camo every time. Mm-hmm. It's valuable, but if I'm making a trade-off here, I'm trading 1 for 1.
Yeah.
And so it's a decision-making game, and that's the hard part about Halo and the beautiful part about Halo, is what decisions can I make to turn this around, to maintain my control, to undermine their control. So in all the games between now and whenever we do this next, I want you to be thinking about, where am I? And you won't have all three every time.
Right.
But try to maximize positions that have these things.
Mm-hmm.
And when you don't have those things, you need to be fucking running.
Yep.
To where you can get these things. And sometimes all you can do is stay low ground behind a box, and that's your cover, and that's the best position right there.
Gotcha. Especially as I'm watching it in front of you, there's a lot of autopilot going on. I'm not really thinking about all those positions. In the same way, but it's weird. I remember having moments in Halo 5 where I knew the map so well that I was like, this is my spot, I go to my spot, and they were always positions of power. But I think we had just the amount of times that we had played and practiced, we knew setups and we knew people were spawning. And I remember just having an autopilot for each map in Halo 5, but it was a good one. I was going to power positions every time, so I don't know that I have that yet.
Yeah, and I think before you get on autopilot with anything, it has to be repetition, but sometimes you can just fall in to good spots by accident. Mm-hmm. To be a really good player is knowing I'm doing this on purpose.
Right.
And I can control. It's the best feeling in Halo when you can control the enemy team like puppets, because you know where they're going to spawn, you know how many are spawning at a time, and you just demolish them. You 250 to 0 strongholds.
And this is why I feel like we've always loved it. But I was talking to a few of my friends, but just this game is pure at its core. Mm-hmm. That's why Halo's beautiful, and it's lasted 20 years. It's just a pure game. Where you have to be better. There's no loadouts. You're not like a specific Gibby with a bubble, and they have this ability and you have this ability, and you don't start with different weapons. It's chess on on the screen. So
I could flip through different points in this video. Is this a good spot or a bad spot? Is this a macro mistake or no?
Right. This here?
Yeah, now.
Yeah, this is macro. I'm getting shit on. And in fact, the one that Squatch reviewed, it was reversed. So
yeah. And is this a good position or a bad position? As you start to develop the eyes for it, you will see it, and then you'll get the spider sense when you're playing. Yeah. This is bad. This is bad.
Why am I doing this?
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna close this first coaching episode out. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. We're hopefully we make some good changes. If you guys see something or something that hit hard with you, just write a comment. You guys can battle it out in the comments, or maybe you disagree with us. There's nothing that he said that I disagreed with. We've had some if you ever hear us play or watch us play, specific arguments about points of going for certain things, but it's usually a timing thing. I don't think we've ever fought about whether or not something was important. It's just is that important now? So, well, you'll see that. But yeah, if you guys have feedback or comments, just go at it in the comments with us and let us know if you learned something new or got a good value out of this. So we're going to keep
100%.
playing.
All right. Thanks all, folks. Appreciate it.
Peace.